Hello, it's the Bull here, and this is the commanding officer's residence in Battleford, Saskatchewan. And I'm going to pass you over to...
The goat?
And...
Constable Trimmer.
Constable Trimmer.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You were just giving us a quick rundown here of a bit of the history of Battleford. Is there any chance you can repeat for the camera?
I sure can. The original town of Battleford is actually down over the Battle River. It was from 1876 till about 1883. It was a capital of the Northwest Territories. There were about 500 settlers living there at the time. During the siege of Battleford, actually all 500 settlers came into the fort here. 72 women and children stayed inside the commanding officer's home and quarters for that period of time. Yeah, Poundmaker with the First Nation Cree group actually came down to the fort to get some rations from John Ray, the Indian agent at the time. He was actually inside the fort, didn't want to go down to the town to give the rations away, so they actually had kind of a stalemate there. The town was actually gone through and scavenged and actually caught on fire at one time. That's when the 500 settlers actually stayed in the fort for about 1 month.
So there's a lot of history to this place. Basically, you had the uprising with Louis Riel down in Betosh.
Betosh, yes.
Betosh, sorry.
Louis Riel, yeah, up in Betosh. It's actually different...
different style uprising.
Yeah, different things. It wasn't with the Treaty 6 with Betosh and Louis Riel. It was a whole different deal. Up here, it was the Cree First Nation dealing with Treaty 6.
So the Cree, okay.
Yeah, in the 1700s, there were about 60 million buffalo going through this area. By 1885...
How many?
60 million.
60 million.
So many buffalo that, in fact, it took people that were going through on wagon train sometimes a day or two to wait until all the buffalo passed so they could actually move on.
Oh my God.
But by 1885, there were only about 500 buffalo left.
So I was going through one of the barracks before, and so basically Treaty 6, it was the treaty between the Dominion and the First Nations because the buffalo were basically gone and they had no way of surviving anymore, right?
Not necessarily.
No?
The buffalo were starting to deplete definitely by that time due to the fact that in the U.S. we were having what was called the Indian Wars. We were spending about $20 million a year on the Indian Wars. Up here, Canada was a brand new country from 1867. They didn't have a whole lot of money, about $19 million for all of their government affairs. They went through the treaty system to go about it a different way, a peaceful way, rather than pushing the First Nations like we did in the United States over to the west into areas that weren't wanted. They tried to give them an agricultural society, more or less, which is different for them because they're used to getting all their nutrients from meat.
Yeah.
They're not a vegetable society. I mean, of course, they get the berries and wild vegetables and stuff, but not the agricultural like they would do in the European style.
Okay, and so reading in there, then basically the uprising here with Poundmaker, and it was a Great Bear?
No, Big Bear.
Big Bear, sorry. Was basically because the government wasn't honoring their, like they weren't teaching them how to farm, and they were basically starving?
Yeah, the people were basically starving. Not only did they use the buffalo for food, but they used it for their clothing, they used it for the teepees. It's a lot different when you put canvas on a teepee in the middle of a negative 45-degree winter compared to when you're using buffalo hide.
Yeah, okay.
It's a lot different, so yeah, it's just a whole different lifestyle. I mean, it's like if somebody came in and told you that you're going to be an architect and you have no skills whatsoever with doing that, but that's going to be how you're going to make your living. And just
Good analogy. Okay. All right, well, very good. Thank you very much here today at Fort Battleford, Saskatchewan. From?
Oh, Constable Trimmer.
Constable Trimmer and?
And the goat.
And, whoop, here we go. The Bull. All right, thanks very much. Catch you later.